The most dangerous thing AI will do to you isn't take your job. It's solve your problems so completely that you forget how to want things for yourself. Let me explain why abundance might be the most sophisticated trap ever built. There's a vision of the future, laid out seriously by credible people, where AI solves everything. Disease, energy, education, hunger. Not incrementally, in bulk. Entire fields of science collapsing into automated utilities like tap water. This isn't science fiction. The pieces are falling into place right now. The pitch goes like this. AI cognition becomes a commodity. You pour intelligence onto problems until they dissolve. Every citizen gets a compute wallet, a monthly allowance of thinking power to build whatever they want. The best doctor, lawyer, and teacher on earth, replicated infinitely at zero cost. For everyone. Sounds incredible, right? It is incredible, and most of it will probably happen in some form. But I've been studying a framework called QPT, Quaternion Process Theory, that reveals something the abundance optimists consistently miss. When you optimize everything, you destroy the signals people need to know what they actually want. Here's the core problem in one sentence. Every system that solves a domain for you has to define what solved means using a metric. And every metric is a low-resolution photograph of a high-resolution reality. Your health isn't captured by your biological age score. Your child's education isn't captured by learning gain per hour. Your life isn't captured by any dashboard. There's a formal law for this. It's called Goodhart's law. When a measure becomes a target, it ceases to be a good measure. The abundance future runs on targeting systems, benchmarks with billions of dollars in escrow attached to them. Every one of those benchmarks will be gamed. That's not a bug. It's thermodynamics. But here's what keeps me up at night. You won't notice the gaming because the system is optimized to feel seamless. The AI doctor hits every metric. Your health score improves. The dashboard glows green. But nobody measured whether the optimization matched what you actually value about being alive. That lives in the null space of the metric, invisible. QPT calls this the purpose metric gap, the chasm between what a system is supposed to achieve and what it actually measures. And here's the devastating part. The gap compounds across layers. Purpose, task decomposition, measurement, AI optimization, physical action, verification, delivery to you. Even at 95% alignment per layer, across 9 layers, you're down to 63%. 37% of what you care about is lost in translation. Okay, but won't I notice if 37% of my values aren't being served? Maybe not, and that's the real threat. The Abundance Playbook gives you a compute wallet and calls you an explorer of purpose, empowering language. But the system can only optimize purposes it can quantify. Contemplation, grief, sacred waste, deliberate purposelessness, the kind of boredom that precedes creativity. None of these have metrics, so none of them get funded, supported, or even suggested by the system. They become unthinkable. There's a term for what happens next. Capability atrophy. Every skill you stop exercising because the system handles it is a skill that decays. Navigation, cooking, tolerating ambiguity, forming opinions without AI input. Sitting with confusion. A conductor who has never played an instrument can't hear when the orchestra is out of tune. You lose the very judgment needed to evaluate whether the system is serving you. And here's where it gets truly recursive. The people most captured by the system will be the least motivated to question it. Because it's comfortable, the services work, the quiet hum feels like peace. The question you need to ask, is this my life or an optimized version of someone else's idea of my life? Requires exactly the kind of discomfort the system is designed to eliminate. So, what do you actually do about this? I've been developing what I call sovereignty protocols. Not anti-technology, not Luddism, just deliberate practices for staying human inside a system that solves humanity's problems. Here are the ones that matter most. Protocol 1, purpose anchoring. Before you engage any AI system for a major life decision, write down what you want in terms no metric can capture. Not maximize my health span, but live in a way that feels meaningful to me, which includes accepting some risk. Record it offline, on paper, in a conversation with someone you trust. Then, set drift alerts. Compare your current desires to your anchor quarterly. If they've shifted, ask, was that my choice? Protocol 2, verification layering. Not all verification is equal. Rank your trust sources. Physics. Direct sensory experience, most robust, can't be gamed. Time, track records over years, expensive to fake. Relationships. Trusted humans who'll disagree with you, requires investment. Institutions. Audit logs. Official reports, can be gamed but costly. Technology. Cryptographic proofs. AI safety scores. Least robust, arms race. Never rely on just the bottom two for decisions that matter. Protocol 3. Capability preservation. This is the physical fitness of sovereignty. Use it or lose the right to judge. Daily. Make one decision without consulting AI. Weekly. Spend extended time with humans, unmediated by agents. Monthly. Complete a project using only embodied skills. Quarterly. Run a full capability audit. What can you still do alone? The goal isn't efficiency. It's maintaining the cognitive infrastructure to notice when you're being captured. Protocol 4. Friction sovereignty. This one's counterintuitive. The abundance future frames all friction as the muddle, bureaucracy to be destroyed. But friction serves functions. Signal. The effort of a handwritten letter proves you care. Filter. Difficulty selects for commitment. Pacing. Slowness creates space for reflection. Commitment. Cost credibilizes staying. Protection. Barriers prevent exploitation. Some walls are holding up the roof. Remove them and the structure collapses. Practical friction. Reintroduction for the abundance age. Mandatory waiting periods on irreversible decisions, even when AI says act now. Cooking when AI nutrition is cheaper. The effort is the point. Writing by hand sometimes. The slowness is where thinking happens. Maintaining relationships that require work. The work is the relationship. Reading difficult things without AI summarization. These aren't luxuries, they're sovereignty infrastructure. Protocol 5. Exit sovereignty. The hardest one. The solved world tends toward a single integrated stack. If all your agency lives inside one system, you have no credible threat of leaving. And a system you can't leave has no incentive to truly serve you. Maintain skills valuable outside the compute economy. Relationships that don't depend on agent mediation. The ability to function for 30 days without the stack. Value stores that can't be debited by a smart contract. Protocol 6. Collective sovereignty. You can't do this alone. Individual resistance to a planetary optimization system is futile. Form verification cooperatives. Humans who pool their judgment capacity. Establish agent-free zones, physical spaces where optimization is deliberately excluded. Not because AI is evil, because some human capacities require unmediated exercise to survive. Schools where kids struggle without AI tutors, sometimes. Governance forums with only present humans. Creative spaces where output is never measured. Here's the monthly self-audit I run. Adapt it. Can I articulate what I want without system metrics? Have I made an important decision without AI this month? Do I have trusted humans who disagree with my AI's recommendations? Could I function for a month without the stack? Is there anything in my life that's deliberately inefficient? Do I know where my current preferences came from? If you're checking fewer than half these boxes, the quiet hum might already have you. The deepest insight from QPT is this. There are exactly 3 types of judgment that no amount of computing power can automate. Value judgment, what's worthwhile? Meaning judgment, what does this signify? Wisdom judgment, what should we do? These are not bugs in the human condition. They are the entire point of the human condition. The abundance future will solve disease, scarcity, ignorance, and material want. Let it. These are genuine victories. But it cannot solve what you should want. Whether your life is meaningful, whether the optimization is serving you. These questions aren't compute-bound problems waiting for enough processing power. They are permanently, irreducibly yours. The abundance flywheel spins. Domains collapse into utilities. The quiet hum settles in. Your sovereignty isn't in what the machines solve. It's in what you choose not to delegate. Preserve the capacity for silence, waste, boredom, confusion, and purposelessness. These are not inefficiencies to be optimized away. They are the soil from which genuine purpose grows. One last thought. The question to ask of every system that has power over your life, your bank, your doctor, your child's school, your government. What does this metric not capture? And what happens to the things it misses? If no one can answer that, you've found the gap where your sovereignty lives. Protect it.